Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Doing It Scared. So I have a fun project for us today, and this is not really the first time I've done it, but I'm going to be putting it in my shop in Artisan Haven to be available for purchase. So I'm a little scared because what I do for fun for myself, let's just say sometimes I get wild and crazy and I just go off script, but this time I need to stick with what I've decided to design, and I need to do the best that I can so that it will be worthy of purchase. So what we're doing today is we are going to make a pair of painted wine glasses. Okay, so here are my wine glasses. I have two, okay? And what's going to happen is I'm going to paint them with flamingos on them. Okay, so I know how to do a flamingo, but I'm gonna put the bottom like they're standing in a pool of water. So that's gonna definitely be new. I'm gonna be trying that. And again, hopefully this will encourage you to try things at home yourself. So for painting glass, the first thing that we do with these wine glasses is, and I've already done this, is you wipe them down with alcohol. You want to make sure that any dust, lint, whatever is off of them, and any other type of things. Now, these are wine glasses I just bought off of Amazon. I found a set of 4. I can't even remember how much, but usually when I buy them, the glasses themselves are $3 to $4 each. So I'm going to paint these, and then I will consider what I'm going to price them. So the other thing you're going to need, of course, is water to rinse your brushes. You're going to need a palette. I'm just using my paper plate. A couple of brushes. I probably won't use the big one. But then you're going to need special paint. So this is Deco Art glass paint. So I've got 4 colors that I'm going to be using with the Deco Art glass paint, and it's showing backwards there, but this color right here is fuchsia. Okay. Now a couple of things with the paint. You've got to, you can only do 1 coat at a time. It can be very tricky painting with this, and I'll kind of show you that. You have to do 1 thin coat, let it completely dry, and then you can do another coat on top of it. If you try to do another coat on top of it too soon, what happens is it balls up and it actually takes off some of the paint, and it looks really gross. So again, I'm using Deco Art glass paint. Now, when these are finished, I'm going to let them dry for 3 to 4 days, and then I'm going to cure the paint by putting these into a cool oven. So I'll go over those instructions at the end when we get closer to that. I see that I have 2 people watching. Thank you, Nancy. Hi, Dawn. This is the first time it's popped up. So if you ever come in and watch and I don't see you, shout out to me. Again, the discussion's there. You. So we're going to start. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera. Nope, sorry, it's not listening to me. And I will check it in a moment. This always takes a minute so that I can see how it looks to you guys on my other screen. It would be great for me to have okay, I've got the wrong thing. Okay, do this again. Now let's try. Yes, that's better. I always get confused on the camera spot. Okay. All right, that looks good. So I will be putting these on the side so that you guys can see as we work. The first thing I'm going to do is work with the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to put both of these right here. Again, I said I want my flamingos to look like they're standing in a pool of water. Okay, so I'm going to start by doing the bottom here, and I am going to use straight up blue. Now I want to show you here, you can see how little bit of paint I'm going to use at a time. Again, it's a little bit different than working with regular acrylic paint. So I'm going to take this dark blue, and I am going to just do a light coat all the way around the bottom. So this is going to end up having 2 dark blue coats on it. we are going to put it on now, and then I will put the other coat on after we do the rest of the wine glass. That way it gives this plenty of time to get a good dry, and we can move on to other things, other parts. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting here waiting too long. I love this blue color. All right, so I've got my base coat on. I am going to go ahead and turn these back around. You're gonna see, I'll show you up here, there are streaks from the blue because it does not cover all the way, and that's okay. We're gonna come back to that in a bit, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of blue right around the base here. And then we're going to work on doing some of the other colors. We're going to move into the Flamingo because we're going to let this dry. We are going to lighten up a blue color, and we're going to add texture. But I know I want this outside rim to be pretty blue. I realize I keep pulling it back out of the camera. I apologize, guys. I'm still learning. I know it seems like I should have it down after 6 months or more of doing this, but me and technology are not best friends. All right. So I'm going to let that continue, and we're going to let that go ahead and start to dry. So I'm going to wipe off my brush. And I'm going to give it a good rinse. Now, when you're working with glass paint, you got to get as much of the water out of your brush as possible because you don't want to dilute the paint with water at all. With acrylics, we still want to wipe off, but it's not as critical. So I'm going to start with the fuchsia color, and I'm going to start by placing my flamingos. And I'm going to do 2 flamingos on each one, each glass, I should say. And like I said, a lot of this is going to be layering. So I don't have a pre-traced, I'm going to move this one back for a minute, flamingo because I've gotten pretty good at doing them. So I'm going to show you how I do them. And if for some reason that doesn't work for you, you need a tracer, then I suggest that you get a line drawing and stick it in there to follow. But for me, I've gotten pretty used to doing them by hand. I start by making an S. Okay. And my flamingo will probably have a total of at least 3 coats. So I'm filling it in. You can see it's leaving some ridges. That's okay. I just want to get this color down. I like the neck. I like the head. And this is very splotchy, but that's to be expected. Okay, so and I'm going to roll, and I'm going to do the other side. And I know they're not going to come out exactly the same because it just doesn't happen. I did wiggle here. I do have some shaking going on with my hand, so that will get fixed and cleaned up on the next coat. And then I just do a little clam. So this right here becomes like a pointed oval. Okay, all right. So now again, they're not going to be exactly the same on both sides, but you know, they're sisters. They're not twins. Okay, so we'll do it again on this one. I've already got paint coming on me. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger, quite all right. But I do feel like I need to make the tail come out longer. So you can see, again, I'm just doing an S and then kind of basically filling in that curled spot in the bottom. Gonna roll this around and do one more. Okay, don't like how that came down here. There. I think this technique works well if you're doing a swan as well. Maybe a swan on a lake. All right, so got those two. We're gonna move this aside, okay? Now, I'm going to go back down to where the puddle is because I'm letting this pink dry. I'm gonna fully clean out my brush. All right, and I want to, again, this at the bottom here is going to be, they're gonna be standing in a pool of water. So I need to mix some light blue. So I've got my white glass paint here. Try to put it on the side. I don't need a lot, so I just put a tiny bit there. I'm gonna pick up just a tiny bit of the blue and add it to this white, and we'll see if it is a good color or if I need to get it a little bit lighter. It looks like it's going to come out just about right. So that is a nice little blue. I'll show you right there. It's a light blue. So now, again, I'm not gonna make anything super difficult at this point, but I am going to scallop in along the stem. This is gonna look very junky right now, but I want the water, I want this to go up to here. So you see I've kind of done that around the base because when we get done, this will be the leg of the flamingo. So there'll be a leg on each side and we want them standing in water. So now I'm going to go ahead and fill in. And I'm going over, you can tell it's going over some of that dark blue I already did, and that's okay. It's completely dry, so it's taking this next layer pretty well. Again, you're gonna notice it's streaky, but when we're working with glass paint, you have to do layers. There's no way that we're going to be able to get all this streakiness out just with brushwork. So now we'll move over to this one. Get my little bit here. I went a little bit too close to the edge there. That's okay. We're going to be cleaning up at the end with using some of that blue again. Okay, and at this point, I've used up pretty much all of that blue that I've mixed. So when I come back to do a second coat, I will do another mix and we'll make that color a little bit lighter than this one. It will help to just add dimension. Okay, so we're gonna come back. I'm gonna check the moment and see if I can do a second coat here. That still looks pretty wet. All right, so let me go ahead. Well, I need to, maybe this is the one that, this one looks a little more dry, but I'm still gonna need to wait on that. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of black on my palette, and I'm going to start the legs. So I want you to see here how little I took, because I'm just going to be using my little brush, and I'm going to be doing legs. Now I'm going to be kind of holding these sideways because I want the leg to look like it's going down in the right place, right? And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have to probably do 2 coats of black because it's going to be a little streaky. See how it curved there? I don't want it to curve, so in a moment I will fix that. And you can see I'm very shaky with my hand. It happens sometimes with my migraines. So what I'm gonna do, and this is looking pretty ratchet. I'm gonna go all the way down. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the edge of my rag. So I'm going to lay this down. Let me do it the other way, yeah. I've got it on its side. And I'm going to take the edge and I'm going to wipe off what I don't want. Now, if I let it dry, I could scrape it off, but it's just easier to clean up when it's wet. So you can see I cleaned that up. Okay, and that is, we know we have 2 legs. So I'm going to just kind of put another leg off here. And it's gonna run in to the same. So this is their leg. I'll clean that up again in a little bit, but I'm not gonna be so worried about it showing 2 specific legs down here. We want it so that the bird, we know the bird has 2 legs. So let's, oops, I just touched this other one up here with the brush by accident. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off that paint. There we go. So now we're gonna do the legs for this one, okay? Okay, I'm doing a little bit better on this one. We'll see. And this is why I say this one is doing it scared, because I'm trying to make these worthy of a purchase. And today my hand is just a little jumpy. Now it's hard to kind of see that leg because you see the black from the other side. That's just kind of how the glass works. But when we get everything done, it will be fine. Okay, so now I'm going to move to the next one. And I think when we come back to that one after these 2 with the legs, I'll be ready to do another layer of pink. Hope y'all are having a great Wednesday. That I do not like. It went way too off the side. So I know summer's coming up. I typically, summer months are really slow, but I'm going to be putting together a summer series. So be watching for that. Those of you that are watching, you got kind of that sneak peek right now. So what it's going to be, I'm going to have a series of 6 to 8 projects through June and July. And you can buy a pre-purchase. It's all going to be pre-purchase. 4 workshops for $80. So in other words, you're going to have a savings of $15 per workshop. I do have to admit, I'm going to have a minimum of 6 people to buy the workshops for it to be worth my time. So again, it will be, you purchase a series of 4 and that's $80. So it makes them $20 each. You will have a choice of 6 to 8 different workshops to choose from. And if you want to go to more, then the additionals are just going to be $20, but these are not going to be basically open to the public. I'm just going to sell these in advance. I don't like that at all. I'm having a hard time with this one, y'all. So we're going to take it off again. Sometimes moving away from what you're working on. So I'm going to go over to the other side and start here. Maybe it's because I'm trying to tell you about something new. Anyway, be watching for that. I am excited about it because it will really allow me to get to know some of you a little bit better and give us a summer activity. Plus, you guys know some of the places that I have workshops through. Ouch. are outdoors. These will all be indoors because, of course, it's going to be hot as Hades. Okay, this one is not great. I will clean it up in a bit. Again, my hand. So sorry, you guys. I just realized I wasn't in the frame. My shaking hand is not helping, but we'll get it cleaned up. Now you'll notice I'm putting my fingers on the inside, and that's okay. I just don't want to add fingers on the outside because we've already cleaned that in my just did that anyway. I had to turn it a little bit. So if I touch anything with my fingers, I'm going to leave residual oils or skin cells, and we do not want that. So let's try, you know what, I'm going to try this part first, and then a little better. We'll see. This is definitely, this is not my best. I did much better on the other one. But again, nothing here can't be changed until we cure the paint, which will come days after. Okay, that's a little bit better. We'll come back to that. All right, so now let's go back to our pink. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave that one in there. So now we need to put a second coat of our beautiful pink for our flamingos. And if you've noticed, I just picked this up, and this was already dry, but I picked it up by the stem, and I shouldn't have, because we're working, I've already got that paint, and I need to make sure I'm letting that dry. So back to the nice pink color. I'm going to go ahead and just put another layer. You can see now this second layer looks much darker. Doesn't mean I'm not going to still need to touch up in different areas, but it does do a great job. And the fact that it's going on smoothly tells me that everything is pretty dry here. If this was only partially dry, I would be pulling up paint off of it while I'm putting this in there. All right, so let's go back over to here. Those of you, if you're still here watching, I wanted to remind you too that we have paint with the alpacas this weekend on Saturday. We only have 10 spots left. It's going to be a small group, and we're going to paint an alpaca, either a pop art version or alpaca on the farm. And part of the proceeds go to the farm that we're going at. But anyway, I wanted to let you know, get those set up, because I won't be doing another one of those for a while. And the alpacas, you're going to actually get a full meet and greet with the alpacas. It'll probably last about 30 minutes or so. So you'll get to pet them. You'll get to know them. I met them, some of them, when I went out and talked to the owners to set everything up, and they are sweet as can be. They're very much like the attention. So go ahead and grab your ticket for that, because it's going to be an amazing and fun-filled experience. All right, over here. And I'm trying to look, as I'm looking at putting this on, I'm thinking I was thinking I was only going to need to do 2 coats of this dark pink, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to want to do 3 to just get a super, super good coverage. Now, if you can see right there, I did a stroke. Part of that had dried, so I almost picked that up off the bird. One thing, again, just remember that it's got to dry completely or you mess it up. But if you mess it up, it's fine. We can come back and fix it. Anyway, so got the those done. We're going to go ahead now. I know I keep going back and forth. We're going to come back to the water. So I need to make some more light blue. So let's clean this. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first pick up a little of this light blue over here. And now I'm going to add white and mix it all up. Now, guys, if I was not doing this as a tutorial, chances are, well, I can say more than chances are, I know that I would be like doing a coat, walking away, coming back and doing a coat later. That way I tend to get impatient and I want to go too fast. I decided I wanted it even a lighter blue. Okay, so now we're going to I'm going to move this one to the back, move this one up front, because like the legs, I've got them drawn, but they're going to be done last. And I will be honest with you, I'm going to probably wait till tomorrow to do that part. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm putting on my light blue on top of this dark blue. I don't mind the strokes showing because that is going to give us the illusion of movement. Water doesn't usually just stay super still. We do want to have some variety in there. And I'm not worried so much about coming up on that because at some point we're going to, the next step really will be putting in some like wave lines and maybe doing another color of blue and then white. Yeah, I don't always know exactly how things are going to go until I start working. And again, the underneath will need one more coat of dark blue. That will probably be done tomorrow as well. Because I don't want to pick these up when they're that wet. I just wanted to get that base down so I didn't have to worry. And you'll see I'm getting some color differentiation. That is absolutely fine. I'm okay with that. Okay. Okay, so you can see, I think I'm doing this right. You can see there's standing paint. That's okay. All right, so I do need, my flamingos need more dry time. Again, I'm just working fast. So what I'm going to do, because we do want some variety. Remember, we have these sides of the wine glass that are empty. I want it to make sense. So I'm thinking of doing, I don't know. No, I don't. I was thinking of putting in some stuff in there like flowers or something, but I don't think that's going to go well for what I want. So I'm not going to add any more. I'm going to wait a few more minutes. What I will need to do, and I can do while I'm waiting, is I will also need a lighter pink to do the wings and stuff. So what I'm going to, here, I'll pull this here. So I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to add a drop because I will need something solid. But I'm going to come over here, do one drop. That was actually more than I wanted. And now we're going to add the white. So we see a lighter pink coming up. This is really pretty. I want it a little bit lighter. It doesn't really matter. It can be. We just need two different pinks because there are, when you look at a flamingo, they have those bright pink feathers, and then they also have a few of the white feather, like lighter pink feathers. I didn't make it as light as I wanted, but we're good. So now I have that color ready. And yeah, I have stuff that needs to dry. So this one looks kind of good. So let me wipe off my brush. Again, I'm going to do another coat of the dark pink because you can see how streaky it is. So I'm going to come up into my tail. And this is a third coat, and it's doing lovely. I know sometimes my hand gets in the way. You can't see what I'm actually doing because I have to just adjust it. Okay, I am going to, I'm going to use this dry brush to just kind of clean things up a little. I don't mind a lot, but right here where the head is, you don't want an extra blob there. Okay, so all right, so coming back to this other one, we'll go with the pink, the dark pink again. Clean up this arch a little bit. I keep forgetting I gotta keep my thing on the X so y'all can see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. Now let's go to this one. Same thing. Oh gosh, my hands are shaking so bad today. So I do apologize. We want a little bit of a tail feather coming up. And you can. Now, a lot of the outside edge, you see I'm not being super picky about that on the back side. That's because we're still going to need to go in with some light pink and add some feathers. So I know that that's going to work out. All right, I think that's good. Let's do the other one. Good, we have plenty of time. We're only halfway through our time today. Okay, I gotta clean this up. And you can see there's some pink smudgies there from what I'm doing. And that's okay. I will be able to, that will come off before we cure it. Okay. we got that part going. Guess what? I think the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to come back to some black. And I'm going to put the beak on. Now, I want you to see this right here. See this hole? That means I touched this to something before it completely dried, and that's what happens if you put the next coat of paint on too fast. So we'll fix that in a little bit. If I do it right now, it's just going to take more of that paint off. So I'm going to go ahead and do the beak. There we go. I had to clean that up. I didn't want to have to clean it up later. So we'll do more like with the eye and outlining shortly, but we got the beak there. Remember, the beak is a little hooked, so I'm going to add just, there we go. Nope, don't like it, y'all. I'm going to let that dry and come back to it because I got a good start. And so you might be thinking, what if I don't like these when I'm done? Well, then I will start again, or I will just decide not to sell them. Okay, so that's got a better beak. I'm going to put some up here. All right, now we're going to come back to these. And so there are a lot of things left to do. There's 20 minutes. We might get to it, we might not. But I'm going to go ahead and let you know right now because, again, this only lasts for an hour. If I'm unable to complete it within that hour, I will, in the discussion for this event, I will post the finished product. Good, I got that one good. So when we're done, the next thing that we're gonna have to do is, like, I'm still needing to, again, add, did I stop talking when I, okay, there we go. I'm gonna need to add the light pink flowers, going to need feathers. We're gonna also put in some black feathers and outlining to really give it dimension. We'll need to put the eye in there. There will be a little bit of pink on, light pink on the beak. I'm gonna come back to that later. Okay, so I've got the beak set. This one needs a little bit of work, but I'll do that in the next thing. And you can see now, I have two areas where pink is coming up. So that will come back and we'll do that in a moment. What I'm going to do now, let's see. So I'm really seeing, see, this is part of doing it scared, is I'm doing it live. This is the first time I've done this to prepare for something to be sold. And I can honestly tell you, I wouldn't try to do it in an hour. I would do it over the course of several hours, or it might say days. So typically when I do a class, you know, the class is 2 hours. I would have plenty of time to finish these and guide you through that. Excuse me, but we only have 20 more minutes. I'm going to take a look down here at my light blue again. And a lot of it is dry, but I'm going to fill in some areas that I can tell are dry. And if it gives different shading, look at that. I'm okay with that. Because remember, if they're standing in a pool of water, there's going to be movement in that. And so I'm going to be adding some white little ripples. Eventually, I'm going to add a little bit more dark to the edge because they're each standing in their own little pool. And especially the brush strokes for water are awesome. So I don't have to worry about these little peaks that are coming up. It just kind of adds to that texture to make this water ripple. I can't believe I was able to go all over it. I didn't think that one was dry enough. Okay, so let's do this one. One of these days, I will have maybe somebody that will help me that can answer questions that you post as we go along. Right now, it's just me. I got a lot of tech learning to do. And I said I was going to do the underneath of these last, but I'm actually, because I know I need a lot needs to dry, I'm going to go ahead and carefully, not put my fingers on the legs, turn these back upside down. And do a nice deep coat, again, of blue. I might have to get some more paint. And the reason that we do the base is so that it looks complete through the stem. I'll show you in a minute. So whatever you have down here, if you look within the glass, down at the base, it's going to pick up that color. If I do too much, I'm going to be taking more off. Again, like I said, this is just to help with the inside. I need a little more blue. So we got that coat. I'm going to turn it around. I just put my hand in the water. That sounds funny. So now if you take a look at this right here, if you're looking down into the glass, you can see it looks like they're standing in a pool of water. That's not centered. Let's see. Okay, see that? So we're gonna go ahead and turn this one around. So it just means while you're drinking, you'll be able to, as it goes down, you'll see the water under there. It just gives a more complete look. You'll also, if we look down in there, you will see that once we get the legs done, anything on there will reflect up through the bottom of the stem. Okay. So I wanted to go till noon, but I'll be honest with you guys, I need to let these dry before I do anything else. So we're going to quit a little bit early at 11:45. Let me know what you'd like to say. Let me go ahead and turn my camera around. There we go. Dawn is on, and Lynn, hi Lynn, thank you so much. So I'm going to finish these up, and this video stays on Facebook for 30 days, but it will go ahead and I will upload it to my website at www.passport-creative.com, as well as I have a YouTube channel, which is passport-creative. Passport Creative on YouTube. So they go up there too. I don't do the whole tutorial. I'm not gonna continue the video, but I will show you the finished product in the discussion. There'll be a photo there, as well as you can of course get it with on my other sites as well. Remember, I have a summer series coming up that's going to be basically $20 a class instead of the normal $35. I'm going to be using you guys as my advisory board, trying some new things, seeing how you like it. So if you're interested in that, please make sure you go to my website and get on my email list. I'll be emailing and asking for participants soon. Again, my website's www.passport-creative.com. Thank you all for watching. I love that you're here. Leave me a note. Tell me what you think. And we'll be back here again next Wednesday doing it scared. Bye-bye.